Hi and welcome to the channel. My name is Danny and I'm here to show you a product called Cloudsticks. Now what is Cloudsticks? Cloudsticks is an online based product that integrates into your Ubuntu Linux distribution and allows you to self-host your website, your emails and a number of other things. I will try to make this reasonably brief and just go over the basics, as this is a very extensive product that does have a lot of potential and is ever growing. Now I'm starting off here with the Cloudsticks website. Now I do have an affiliate link. I do not know what it actually gives me, but it's there. So let's get started on the website. Like anybody, you can just go through the website, look at what it's promising and all the pretty graphs, but we're gonna go briefly through everything and you get to see it for yourself, because I have not seen that many reviews about the products. They do have a free tier and they frequently have AppSomo promotions where you can buy a lifetime pro license that's basically unrestricted. I think they had the basic and the pro. I'm on the pro as a lifetime and it was reasonably cheap considering. Okay, so this is just the website here. You've got the the products that are on offer. It basically installs on an Ubuntu and it does need to be an Ubuntu LTS release. They're not always on top of the game to be up to date with the latest LTS, as I think they only got to 24.04 late last year, but this is still a fairly recent product. Cloudsticks has not been around that long, as far as I can tell, but it seems to be doing pretty well for themselves. Now the product Cloudsticks does have a roadmap, and this is where people can actually submit what they want to get on the system, and they're actively working on it. Most of the small things that people requested, like white label stuff and SSH Vault and one-click installs. NetCloud had a bug. I think I'm one of the people that reported that. So most of the things that are small and easy to get going, they've already sorted. They're working on the bigger stuff, which I understand will take a bit longer. It's not that easy to roll out new products quickly, and especially as it requires extensive testing on the last three Ubuntu LTSs, 20, 22 and 24.04. So that takes a lot of time. Now to begin this, I'm going to spin up a Vultr instance just quickly. I thought about running it here in-house just to show this tutorial, but a Vultr instance is going to be fastest. Now technically there is no minimum requirement. It will run on anything. I've tested it on one core, half a gig, and it works fine. Obviously it will depend on how you're utilizing it. If you're gonna have a heavy WordPress on there, you do want more. But for most people, I'm gonna say the one core, 1 gig of RAM, as you see, is $5. Plus, I think that includes the auto backup. Yes, auto backup, that's $1 extra. So you can roll it back in case you do break something, which can come in handy. I like to test a lot of things and I tend to break it. And yes, you can break it. Not critically, I don't think so. It's just faster to roll it back and redo whatever you broke. Okay, so I'm just gonna create an instance quickly. Usually I would attach SSH keys. Maybe, oh, sorry. We'll just do 24.04. I will attach an SSH key. Maybe we'll leave it off. Good question. What will be the easiest? I'll attach a key and I'll explain how that works to you in a second. So I'm just gonna deploy this. I didn't label it. Cool. I wonder what that will do. Now while it's making the instance, I'm going to briefly go over a few things. So this is the current change log. As I mentioned, they've done all the big things and they were working on getting all the essential things going. So the updates here have slowed down, and some of the things that they do release don't actually show up here if it's from the roadmap. Sometimes that seems to not show up here. But as you can see, they were very active. I think I've had this product for about a year. So it was all the way back here somewhere. Is when I got it by AppSumo. And it used to work really well. It still does work really well. I do not use it in production, but I do like, buying something to test it and, supporting them where I can. So in hopes that they grow larger and actually become a full developed solution. And they are pretty much that. There's probably a few more things that they could do. All right, we can see the instance is up and running. So I'm just going to SSHing into there. I mean, the usual you should do with any Linux distribution is update it. If you're not logged in as root, you obviously would have to do sudo. We'll just let that do its thing. Okay. Now the way we go on about this, you've got two options when you get started with Cloudsticks. And I think when you originally start, it does the whole tutorial thing where it shows you everything, and I've turned that off since then. You have the option to purchase the solution. It does run via voucher. You basically pick what you want. The pricing seems to be voucher plus a couple of dollars extra for their, I guess, profits. Since they are making your life easier, it's all in one place. We're not gonna do that. We like saving money, so we're just gonna deploy it ourselves. So I'm gonna say I have a server already. Okay, voucher. So I'm not gonna do this API key. I'm gonna actually just do other. So if you do this, it's going to talk to your voucher directly, and it does everything. It makes your life easier. I'm just gonna say other. Okay, this will be the IP address that we get from voucher. Okay, I'm just going to show you this. How it will respond. So as you see, it's not actually asking me for your username. I'm just going to say add, and it's going to ask me for the root password, which I don't actually know if there is a root password, but we're not going to use it that way anyway. I never use it with a root password. Oh, there is one. Okay. I'm gonna say that this will very likely fail because we have added a key. Let's see, let's just wait for this to finish. Actually, while this is installing, I'm gonna explain the two difference. We'll go through the manual method. So if the server is exposed directly and Cloudstick has access to it, and you can provide it, it does need to be the root account. It cannot be a sub account that you then elevate to root, it has to be root. Direct means you've got access to the internet directly. It can SSH in with the root password and then it will do its install. If you are using a non-standard account, as in it's not root, and again, root you shouldn't really be using, but in this case, you don't have a choice. If you're using a non-standard account or it's not exposed directly to the internet because you've got a home lab and you've got a proxy manager in place, you're gonna do direct, which I'll show you in a second. Let's see, we're just gonna keep hitting enter and it should do whatever it needs to do. Alright, the virtual machine is back up, so we're going to attempt to install it this way. But since we did add an SSH key, I don't recall if Vultr denies direct access or not. So this is usually what will be happening. It's going to get in the server, it's going to install an agent, and after that fact, the agent will do everything via reverse proxy pretty much. This is why it does not need to be necessarily exposed directly to the internet. It does make it easier, and it's probably intended to be exposed directly to the internet, because this will do SSH for you provision automatically. So there's very little you need to do if this is exposed directly on the internet. You literally just tell it what you want it to do, tell it to install the product, and it will do everything for you. Now, since we only got a 1 core, 1 gig of RAM instance here, this usually takes, I'm gonna say, about 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm gonna pause this and then I'll be right back. It's just installing the Cloudstick packages now. It did prerequisites. Now it's Cloudstick packages. Again, I'm going to pause it and I'll be right back. Yeah, it's still working away. As I said, usually about 10-ish minutes. It looks like we're almost there. Yay! We're almost there. All right, it looks like it finished. I didn't actually pay attention how long it took. Well, probably 15 minutes, since uptime on that server is apparently 18 minutes. Let me just adjust myself. Now I've decided to re-record part of the video because I missed a few things and I rushed a few things through too quickly. Now, on top of the direct provisioning, as you saw just a minute ago, where you nominate the IP address, etc., you do that as well, even though the IP address is not that important in this case. You're going to grab this script here from the manual provisioning, and it works the same way. As I was saying, it works the same way. We're just gonna grab this script and we're gonna SSH into the server and just run it, and it will do pretty much the same thing as with the other one. So you could execute this in case your username is not root. If you wanted to run it as your local account, you would need to execute it as root, so it has root permissions to do what it needs to do. But you can basically run this on anything, even if it's behind a firewall. It will go out there, it will grab what it needs to grab, and then it's gonna install everything. So as I said a second ago, I'm redoing this kind of review / tutorial because I made too many mistakes rushing through it. So I'm gonna let this install through the manual method, but both of them for deployment purposes are the same. So I'll see you in a second. Alright, now that it's installed, as we can see on the browser, it's just finalizing a few extra steps. This here has kicked me off. It's restarted. It's just finalizing a few extra steps, so we should be a minute away from being actually done. All right, so this is the basic interface. I went through this already, but since I'm re-recording everything, transfer servers is only to transfer to somebody else's account. So I guess you could prepare things and then send it to them. Time zone. I'm gonna just leave everything as is. The auto update I usually turn on. Cleanup is just going to do this cleanup, and then yeah, file system quotas if you want to do any quotas. So I messed up in the last video as I've done a few things wrong. So once we're on here, the first thing I'm going to do is set a host name. And in this case, I'm just going to call it mail.test. Okay, create host name, deploy SSL. Now the host name becomes the main host name for the whole server, not just for emails. But that's basically what it will be referred in the backend for some functions. But you'll see when we provision the website, you can point the website to test.your domain or just your domain directly. So the first thing we're gonna do is host name. Now we're gonna go to the website, and I'm just gonna say create website. For most people, it's gonna be WordPress or Nextcloud. Oh, sorry, let me go back. For most people, it's going to be WordPress or Nextcloud. I've tried the other ones, they do work. I haven't had much luck with the custom, but it's probably a lack of knowledge on my front. Again, I'm going to do WordPress. Nextcloud had some bugs, but these days it works really well. So WordPress, and okay, email address, that's what it will be used in the background for WordPress and a couple other things. Now the web application, because this runs inside the VM, on, in this case on Vultr or wherever you have it hosted, you want to segregate it because it will place it in a file path. So based on the name that you give it. So in this case, I'm just going to use WordPress test. And the website I'm going to spin up is going to be called test. And here I'm going to click the Cloudflare, which you integrate when you're in Cloudsticks. I'm going to keep this all simple, PHP version. I don't know if it's 8.4 is the latest. Look, I'll pick it. I generally select Nginx and Apache depending what I'm doing, but you can just do Nginx. Now this will be the title, like up here it says Cloudsticks LLC. That will be the title. Templates, I don't really have any templates, and I think you can only do that on the higher tier plans. So I'm just gonna leave everything default. Email address, the domain I want to spin up. It will use Cloudflare to provision the certificates, which we'll do in a minute. The database, you can nominate stuff here if you want to mess around with it, if in case you have a need to actually interact with the database directly. For majority of the people, they're gonna just accept and click generate. And we're gonna move on. This will take, I think, about 30 seconds. Once this window goes away, we're gonna hop on to make the SSL certificates. Okay, now we are in the website. As you see, it's actually pulled us one tree down. We're gonna say manage SSL. We're gonna say deploy SSL. We're gonna pick WP test and select Cloudflare DNS. Okay, now keep in mind Cloudstick is primarily designed to work. It can work without Cloudflare, but you're just going to have more difficulties. So the WordPress is already deployed, but I'm gonna do the certificate first so I can show you. This should take a minute. I don't recall if I've deleted these records or if I've left them in place. I have a feeling that they were left in place. There we are. We've got the certificate. So if I go to that website, you're gonna see it's a very basic website. I think it's the most basic template because it's kept very light. So you actually have to go in there and load any templates you want, because it doesn't come with the 50 million templates that the normal one does. As you see, we have a plugin that needs updating, but I'll show you. You can do all of that through Cloudsticks. And appearances, themes. You can just pick one and install. Oh, I just clicked that twice. I hope that didn't break anything. And activate. Stay. I probably didn't change it. Either way, it's WordPress. It does work. So we are back here on the last page where we're on the certificates. I'm just gonna go back to the WordPress main website. A few things to show you here. In most cases, you want to enable the cache. You can actually add WordPress users directly from in here. Okay. Sorry, that's users. You add users here. So you would nominate it at gmail.com, give them the role, password, all without actually getting into WordPress. You can also mess around with the plugins if you want to update them from here or just disable a plugin. If you're not familiar with WordPress, you know that sometimes a plugin can make the whole website go belly up. So you can just update it from here. Now this is running on a 1 CPU, 1 gig memory vulture instance. If you are going to run a heavy website, you should probably get one that's higher in bandwidth. And to enable the webmail, which a lot of people will actually do, we're just going to say enable webmail. Now each of these sections you want to give it a different name. So in this case I'm going to say email dot you want to say email because you already have the test dot maybe I'll make this bigger. It looks horrible, but might be easiest to read. So you see we already have that. So we clicked enable, we gave it a name. This will be email. We can say webmail, install RunCube. Now once we installed zone not found, did I delete it? Give me 1 second. See, usually some of these you have to nominate yourself if you don't have the options here. In most cases it will do it for you. It doesn't like something, so just hold on. Despite the error message, it's actually done it. So it has actually done it. So every time you do one of these things, it doesn't automatically do the SSL. You have to go, whatever you're provisioning, you have to go to manage SSL and actually provision it. So let's jump back into manage SSL. And we're going to say deploy. We're going to find that one. As you see, it just populates it by itself. DNS, Cloudflare, deploy. This will take a second and it should be deploying the SSL certificate. Now you could obviously, if you really wanted to, make Cloudflare do the SSL certificate, but if you're not familiar, the SSL should probably be done at the destination. So if you enable this proxying at Cloudflare, it's going to be encrypted up to Cloudflare, but then from Cloudflare to the website, it will not be encrypted, or generally not be encrypted, depending what you're routing. So you do want to run it on here and not on Cloudflare. So in Cloudflare, I've got proxy off. That's what you generally want to do. Okay, now we have not made a email account yet, so I'm gonna say make email account. Email accounts. Yeah, one thing you probably will need to do is do the records. So Cloudflare add DNS records. I think you generally want to do them manually anyway. It's possible that it's conflicting with some of the records I've got in here currently, because I did do a run before. So let's ignore that for now. So create email account. I'm just gonna say Penny. I'll get it to generate the password. And storage unlimited, or you can limit it to, 1024 or 500 meg, whatever it is. I'm just gonna say unlimited. Generate. Okay, now that we've got an email account here, I'm gonna go to the webmail. So there is the webmail. As we can see, it's encrypted, and we're just gonna go okay. Oh, sorry, you have to actually do the full name, full email address. Oh. And that password. Is there a space at the end? Yep. And this is the webmail. Now keep in mind, I did test sending out from here. Sending out works. Receiving should also work. This will depend primarily on where you have the VM hosted. If you're running this at home, make sure that your internet provider does support incoming emails on port 25, and obviously outgoing on port 25. Otherwise, you're going to have issues using these emails. Now, you can use this email in your where did it give me? Where does it give me the settings again? I forgot. It's been a while. So from memory, it will auto configure everything you need on your phone or Outlook or wherever you want to use it, or you can just use it from the webmail, which is this interface here. Either way, in most cases, you're going to use this as IMAP and SMTP on the default ports used for IMAP for SSL encryption. Now, I'm pretty sure it used to show us here, but again, give it a go, look at their documentation, see what they say. So this is your webmail. You can set it up in Outlook. This is the email account. You can set up as many as you want, obviously subject to your server capacity, performance, etc. Anytime you want to do SSL, you do it from here, and it will deploy the appropriate SSL for the website, for whatever it is. If you have subdomains, etc., it's all done in here. If you did need to upload things directly, you can do that from here. Easy enough. Now, because this is running, this here, as you can see, we're on Vault Test server. We're on the VP test environment here, WordPress test. You can have multiple WordPress test websites on the server. They can be all different. They obviously can't be the same domain, multiple. They can be all different. You can tweak them as you want. You can have some with auto updates, some with no auto updates. There is a backup option as well. which I think is under here. Enable backup. Now at the moment this backs up, you know, once a week or whatever. You can nominate. This only backs up to them. You cannot make it back up to a third party at the moment, but that's apparently being developed. So if you need an extra database, SSH keys are automatically kept in here. I don't have any in here at the moment, but you can add an SSH key. Security is actually pretty good. This has brute force protection you can enable, so if somebody's trying to hack the website, as you see, apparently South Korea in this case has already tried this, and that's just a normal thing without the brute force enabled. Before you enable the brute force, I would quickly add your home address and a couple of other things so you don't accidentally lock yourself out. Services is where you add extra functions to this. If you really, you know, if they add something and you want it off or you're not using something, you can turn it off. Hostname, system users. System users are extra users on that VM. And supervisor jobs, I think, is where you automate certain tasks from memory. Easy PHP, if you needed to enable any PHP functions that are currently disabled. As you see, some things that you may deploy, especially in the custom thing, might need extra functionality. You would just spin them on here. Okay, that kind of probably summarizes this. So this is the main Cloudstick's interface. If you had multiple servers, that would be here. You've got the normal DNS, which is generally linked to your Cloudflare, and it will just automate most of your things. Third-party integrations, you can make it link to Vultr and DigitalOcean directly, and Hetzner, and you can just from this one interface deploy servers as you see fit, which makes it very easy. Subscriptions is what subscription you're on. Login activity makes sense. Account activity is actually what has changed on the system, who's made what changes. SSH Vault is what it will automatically inject into every VM, which is generally your SSH key, so you can access the VM. So if you deploy one without an SSH key, this will put the key in there for you, which makes it very easy. I don't think there's too much to talk about it. They do have a referral program. I don't know if everybody has this option. I didn't apply for anything. Apparently it gives you money, some of the credits to use with them. I have no real purpose at the moment, but the links that I'm using will be referral codes. So they do have a free tier, and if you have patience on AppSumo, you generally get a promo with them, where you get for a reasonable amount a lifetime subscription with the Pro tier. And the Pro tier, I think usually is like $15. Yep, that's the plan. I'm on the Pro tier. So I think from memory it's usually $15 a month. For most people the free tier will do the job. So as you see, it says we've got 3 websites. Now that is because each thing is being seen as a separate entity and you can mess around with them separately. So that is the webmail and the email setup, and the database is required to make everything work. So I think I mumbled on about this enough. To probably end this, who is this product for? For somebody that wants to spin up an easy VM and wants a product that does everything for them. That's very easy to use, very easy to manage. Next to no effort needs to be put into making anything. Well, not anything, as long as it's WordPress and related to the things that they are offering. I already alluded that they do have an ongoing improvement happening. There is a change log that has had no changes in the last couple of months, but they're working on bigger stuff at the moment that I can understand take longer to deploy. So is this a recommended product? The free tier, definitely. If you think you're going to use this and you come up with the AppSumo promo and it makes financially sense, I would say get it, because in most cases hosting your own website for about $6 a month, and if you have the Cloudstick's Pro plan, that will also throw in the backups, make it easy to manage. You could have multiple websites where if you get a provider to host websites for you, it's going to probably end up costing you more, and you're stuck with that provider, where with this solution you're more flexible to deploy wherever you want, even at home, in your office. You could probably even do a reverse proxy, or like DIN DNS if you're hosting at home and you don't have a static IP address, or similar products. Now this is basically the VM cleanup. Everything makes sense, easy to use. The interface hasn't changed much. They've added a bunch of buttons here or there, a restart, more accurate statistics. But in general, I'd say it runs really well. I have used the emails for a couple of months. They work on my phone, they work in Outlook, as you would expect them to work as an IMAP solution. IMAP or POP, most people will use IMAP. And for majority of the people, the webmail will be excellent for its use case. Okay, it's not Google, but it's yours, it's your domain. You can do with it what you want. And if you ever don't want it, you just turn it off and move on. So would I still recommend it? I'd say yes, for majority of the people that have an interest in running their own website and want it just to work. If they want to run their Nextcloud instance, which is like Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, that works really well as well. I've tried it. I've run it for a couple of months. It worked. It syncs to your devices, phone, etc. You can send out invites to outside parties. You can enable two-factor, etc. Everything just works. I have not spent too much time on these other ones. Joomla I spun up Moodle and Laravel, however you pronounce it. I just got them on, I looked around, made sure that they work, and I just basically turned them off because I have no interest in them. These are the two that probably interest me the most. And I'm hoping that they're going to have more solutions offered here in the near future. So for now, I'm going to clock out. Have a great day and hope to see you here soon. Bye.